for those of you that are just now tuning in to stream, this is basically kind of an update on the broken axle on the 20-ton tilt deck. So this is what, after I got everything apart, this is basically where we're at. Right, so this piece right here was back here. I had to cut the weld to get it further forward to expose all the real damage here. So you can see, you know, it's pretty damaged. It's not too bad though. Like, it could have been a lot worse, you know. You can see the extent of the crack. Basically, it goes to right there. And then on this side, it just goes to right there. Time to get the welder out. Yep. Not quite yet. And then also right down here, cracked right there. So what my plan is, this is kind of my plan of attack. I was going to do it tomorrow, but I may have to work tomorrow. One of my drivers might be calling out. So I may have to work tomorrow, but if I don't have to work tomorrow, my plan is I'm going to get, I'm actually getting some bigger oxyacetylene tanks. I'm trading these for a bigger setup. I just got a new torch. I mean, that torch works fine. But this torch right here is quite a bit bigger. And I got a rosebud for it. So I'm waiting to get the bigger tanks. Because, I mean, these tanks are not a good size. But if I use the big torch on them, they'll be empty pretty quick. So I'm going to wait till I get the bigger tanks. I'm hoping to do that tomorrow. But if I don't get the chance, then probably Thursday or Friday or something. And then we'll have this big rosebud right here to heat that thing up. My game plan is basically, I got kind of two options here. Heating, I think I'm going to heat this up right here on this side and heat it up on the top right here. I don't know, I may just end up heating this whole thing up red hot. I don't exactly know what it's going to take, right, to bend that back. So this right here is just kind of sitting here. I pushed it further forward because I had to get the seal off, part of the seal that was stuck right here. So I may take this ring all the way off so I have better access. Kind of my game plan is I got to figure out some way of wedging this system, because as you can see, you know, see if when I jack this up, right, it goes like this. The way the suspension works is, you know, that side will go in the air if you push this side down, right? So I was thinking I could put some sort of metal across these two beams. These are really thick, heavy I-beams. If I had, like, I don't know, half-inch plate metal or something like that, it wouldn't bend. I'd be able to bend that back once I got it warm enough, you know, and put a jack in there and just jack it back down and then weld it. You know, it only needs to go 1/4 of an inch, you know, so not too far, but far enough that it might be kind of hard. Another option my driver was suggesting is maybe put a pipe wrench on this with the pipe extended onto it and then, you know, pulling it down this way. It'd have to be really hot for that too, you know. So I'm still not sure how we're going to do it, but I'm going to give it my best shot. I'm going to grind these out too, you know, that way it's cleaner. But I'm going to probably a porta power. I don't even know how I would put a porta power in here, though. I mean, that basically just spreads it apart, right? A porta power is like... Yeah, get it red hot and then just freaking bend it. That's kind of what my plan is right now. Get it, you know, so red hot, you know, both sides, just the whole thing just glowing, and then just pull it right back down. You know? Well, and that's what I was thinking, work life. That's exactly what I was thinking. And I have the bottle jack right here. I tried to do it earlier, but the biggest problem I had is the suspension goes up, right? Let me show you. See, right? So you can see this side going down when I jack this side up. So when I jack it up, it just lifts this side. So I put, oh yeah, I put this, see how it's bent? See how bent it is right there? I had this jammed in there like that to keep it from lifting. It just bent it. It just pinched it, you know. So I got to figure out, I may have to put a bottle jack in this side too, just to keep it from, you know, just so I can get the amount of leverage to bend it down. I'm sure once I get it red hot, I won't need that much pressure. That's an idea, Ryan. Push on the end of the spindle with your mini once it's red hot. Just put wood in between to keep from ruining this polished surface. Yeah, that's an idea too, Red 1 Ton. Just use the mini and just kind of pry it down. I could do that. That would work. If I had like a, you know, if I put some boards on it or something. That's the crack for those of you that are just now tuning in. And then also you can tell it was cracked on the other side too. You can see where it cracked around here. And then right where the S-cam is too, it cracked right there too. But the S-cam doesn't really look bent at all. I think the main thing with the S-cam is this part right here was cracked. So the S-cam was down further and it locked the brakes up. Yeah, I mean, yeah. If I heated this up, you can't hurt this thing because it is friggin' 3 inches thick. It's, that's not gonna happen. Nothing's gonna hurt this. Unless you scratch this, which you don't want to do. You don't want to ruin this surface right here. This is the most important surface right here. From here to here. You know, you don't want to ruin any of that. But, so that's basically where we're at. Yeah, drill out the cracks too, yep. Yeah. Yeah, because I could put a big pipe wrench right on here, like this, and then just pull it right down, you know, or pull it in or whatever I need to do. I'll probably have to take this off, though, completely, you know, which is not that hard. I just have to beat on it for another half an hour, probably, or sand this down and then should slide right off. But that's basically where we're at with this, you know, 20-ton trailer. 20-ton tilt deck. Have I tried cussing at it? No comment. I thought about that too, putting a piece of pipe over the spindle, putting some rags over it, putting a pipe over it, and then just pulling it straight down. I thought about that too. That might be the easiest. What I might do is pull that off, right? Wrap a whole bunch of rags around it, put the pipe on it, get that sucker red hot, and then use the mini to push down on it. Man, that would be a wild video, huh? Using a mini excavator to fix a broken trailer axle. Andrew Camarada would be proud. Yeah, a pipe right on the spindle would give you the most amount of control. Because, I mean, that's really what you want to force down anyways. Like, grabbing the square tubing wouldn't really do what you want. Because what caused the crack was the weight on the tire pushing up and out, you know? So if you could pull that back. Heat it and beat it. Yeah. Yeah, one of the down, yeah, it's a Miller trailer. So one of the downsides is when I was taking this thing apart, I kind of ruined the brakes because I didn't know how to do this thing, right? So I put this is called a brake anchor, right? I put the nut on and started beating it out, but it ruined the threads on this. See, the threads are just toast. Right there, mostly. It's so old, you know. That's what happens. I should have heated it up, and then it would have just came out fine. Or lubed it up or something, you know. But, you know, I was being impatient. It was getting dark, and I wanted the thing apart so I could see what the damage was. So I think I got a line on getting some new brake parts. And I think I got a line on getting a new wheel seal for this. But that may prove to be more difficult, you know. I went to the parts store with the parts, and the old guy behind the counter, you know, was like, I think I can get it, but we'll see. You know, so he's going to give me a call, you know, in a day or two and let me know what how the story rolls. So I think what I'll do is I'll buy a pipe, put a pipe on it, bend it back down once I get that thing red hot. I mean, even if I had, you know, just 5-6 feet of pipe on that thing, man, that would really give me some leverage. Even with the mini. Yeah, I'd have to cut new threads, though. It'd have to cut smaller threads. Because it broke the threads off. So, the way we broke this trailer, this is how it happened. I did a demo job on an island like a couple months back. And the deck of the trailer was really wet. And these boards, when they're wet, they are slick, right? These boards are super slick when they're wet. And the trailer was slightly... Yeah, that's my next step, Xander, is if Northwest Truck and Industrial can't get them, I'm going to Cascade, you know. So the trailer was super slick, and I think there was a chain on or something. I can't remember. But the trailer was slightly tilted like this, right? When I was loading the 120. And it slid off the trailer. It slid off this side. And I'm 99.9% certain that's when that broke. when the 120 slid off. Like, it was violent. Like, I thought I was going to die. That's how fast it slid off. Like, I almost flipped over, you know. I was fast enough to turn sideways and grab the bank, though, so I didn't flip over. But, man, it was, let me tell you what. It was a wild ride, to say the least, you know, and we ended up getting it on there and getting it home and everything. And, you know, we didn't realize that anything was broken until, 2 days ago when the trailer came in with the 120 on it and the axle, the tires were like this, right? This front axle was straight. The next axle was like this. And I'm like, what the heck? And we thought the spindle was bad and the wheel bearings, but they're perfect, you know. And then we got it in the air and we couldn't turn the tire. So we thought for sure the spindle, you know. But then I got it apart. Well, before I even got it apart, I came up with the second theory that it was the S-cam was binding, right? Because I found that crack right there. But you couldn't see this crack. And you could only see the top of this bulge right here, which you couldn't tell it was cracked because it was so rusty, you know. You couldn't really tell. You could just see like a little bulge right here because this goes all the way back up to this, right? And it covers this whole section, so you can't see any of it. And so, you know, I took the hubcap off and looked in there, and I'm like, man, those wheel bearings look new. I'm guessing what happened is, you know, I could see this crack. I'm like, I bet the S-cam's binding, and it, you know, is locking the brake up. And that's exactly what happened, is the S-cam was bound up, and, you know, the brakes were smoking and getting hot, you know. That's why we couldn't turn it. So, not too shabby, guys. I'm actually really looking forward to getting this thing back on the road. You know, if I can complete this repair, that's going to be one for the books. You know, I'll be pretty proud of myself. You know, it'll go along with the time that, you know, I fixed the dump truck frame and I fixed the, you know, the, what's it called? The drop axle for my old truck. Like, when I bought that old truck, that drop axle was shot. Like, if you guys ever go back and watch the videos of me fixing the drop axle, like, it was twisted so many different ways. And, I mean, everybody said, like, dude, that's a waste of your time. Don't even waste your time on that. It's metal fatigue, you know, and this and that and this and that. And I just, you know, cut it up, straightened everything out as best I could with a pipe wrench and, you know, crescent wrench, and welded it all back together, and it's still holding, you know. Not a single crack, not a single bend, you know. So, and realistically, you know, if this thing was busted off, I might not try it. Yeah, right. It might still eat tires, you know. It might still eat tires. You definitely, you know, you might be onto something there. But, you know, with it just being just this crack, if I can get that thing sucked back down and welded, you know, yeah. I mean, here's the thing, you know, realistically, this trailer, you know, it's a 1980 trailer. Like, it really doesn't get used that much, guys. Like, I haul the 120 2-3 times a year. And then the Mini, this thing doesn't even know the Mini's on it. You know what I mean? It's a 20-ton trailer. That's 40,000 pounds gross vehicle weight rating. 40,000 pounds. So going down the road with the Mini on it, it's 20-something. You know, 20,000 pounds. You know, with the 120 on it, it's still 8,000 pounds under legal weight. Right? So, You know, that's why we were still able to drive it with it being cracked like that. It just blew the tire though, you know. Blew the inside tire because the inside tire had all the weight on it. It's just warming it up too much. The brake was warming it up, and then because it was cracked, all the weight was on that one tire, you know. The outside tire never blew. It was the inside tire. So, you know, we drove it home with it being cracked like that, 50 miles, and it didn't even eat the tire at all. Like, you can see the tire is still pretty much brand new, you know. So, I don't think it'll be that big of a deal, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. So, maybe I'll shoot a live video tomorrow and give you an update on it if I get it, you know. If I'm not driving tomorrow, maybe I'll do a live video in the dump truck tomorrow. We'll have to see what happens. So, anyways, guys, I gotta go take a shower. I gotta go take a shower and head out. So, you know, thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. And don't forget to pound that like button and pound that subscribe button. No, I'm not driving the Detroit tomorrow. That truck, I took that off the insurance a while ago, like 2 months ago. So it'd be the new Pete if I'm driving tomorrow. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. And, you know, when you go to do these repairs, you got to know what you're doing, and you got to just dive in, you know. Sometimes these projects, you know, you've never done one before, but, you know, you have all the skills to do it. You just take it one step at a time. First step, take the lug nuts off, take the tires off, take the hub off, take the brakes off, take the, you know, the S-cam bracket off, you know, and then cut the weld for the S-cam bracket, you know, and the brake holder, you know, cut that off. And then next thing you know, you got everything exposed, the big problem, and then you just tackle it, you know. This is really what it takes when you're starting out your business. Like, this is the type of things you're going to have to do. Like, if you follow my advice and you buy an old dump truck, you're going to have to do stuff like this, you know. You just can't give up. You just got to say, okay, what's the next step? Just focus on one step at a time. Don't just look at the whole project all at once, because you won't do it. You'll give up. You know, like when I first, you know, was looking at this thing, I'm like, oh, you know, end of the world, sell it, buy another trailer, you know. And, you know, all I'm really spending is time, right? And time, you can spend your time, right? Money, you can't always spend money, you know. So it is what it is, you know. You got to make do with what you got, or you got to, you know, come up with some way of buying something, you know. And I figure if I can fix this, you know, myself, and it cost me one day, you know, then I'm up a couple $1,000 versus buying another trailer, you know, because I already know what this trailer's got on it. It's got almost all new tires all the way around. It's got 2 tires that need to be replaced, you know. It's, you know, it's got a decent paint job. It's got a nice box on it, you know. I'm used to the trailer. It's, you know, it's been mine for 4 years, so I know it's demons. I know it's angels, you know. So I know how it handles, you know. So when you run into a problem like this, just take it one step at a time, guys. You know, that's the real key to getting it done. Or because if you start thinking about the whole thing all at once, it'll overwhelm you, you know. Like, going into this, I didn't think I was going to be confident enough to fix it, you know. But now that I got it apart, It's just a walk in the park. It's just you know, welding something up. Heating something up, bending it, welding it, you know, putting a laser on it, making sure it's straight. That's it. That's it. That's all it takes, you know. Just take your time, do it right, you know, and, you know, that's the way it is. So, you know, that's just like when I had my old Peterbilt, when I put that drop axle back together, you know, one step at a time. You can't just jump on the thing and expect it to be done, you know, like that. It doesn't work like that. You know, just take it one step at a time and get it done. So, anyways, catch you on the next one.